Welcome in, darlings. How are we? I've got a new deck. You're gonna laugh. I ordered a mini tarot. I ordered a mini tarot deck, and it really is a mini tarot deck. But yeah, it reminds me of the fairies. So I'm loving it. It's really cute. So we're going to use that today. And I've got a couple of really shamanic messages. Okay, and this might subliminate people in a certain way. They want you to know, that sometimes too much bad or a lot of bad can be good, and sometimes too much good can be bad. So they want people to understand the balance is real. And also fear. Fear is a disease. It's better to act from anger than to be stuck in fear. And you know what? Repressed anger is one of the main causes of human ailment in the modern era, because we feel like we can't get mad, we can't go to battle with people. You know, the rules have changed. So I want to say thank you to those ones who I know you're putting love into your comments, you know, when you're, you know, trying to guide me. It's kind of like you've got this instinct to guide my inner child, which is cute because my inner child never got any of that other than from the non-physicals, right? But I am an anomaly. I am I'm like the special forces of the yin realm. So just like you get sicked down black belts in the physical, in their dojos, in their temples, I am the female yin realm equivalent of that. So I operate on a multi-pass. I operate on, you know, a lot of freedom because I've already ascended, guys. I don't say that to be egotistical or to be, you know, anything other than 100% truth, but I've already ascended. So the rules for me, the blueprints I operate on, are not the same as the ones on earth who haven't ascended yet. You get what I'm saying? I've got a VIP golden pass, so I do lead by example. And when I ever get angry, which I'm not planning on doing, I get more angry when you know, when I quit weed again. So but still, even then, I take God's direction and I lead by example. There's nothing to be fearful of, all right? Fear is a disease, and only I create in my reality. So, you know, we all create an individual reality. And, you know, some of us will go onto different timelines that aren't even connected to each other anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Because you really can slip off onto different pathways via your mind. This illusion of there being one earth, it is an illusion. Reality only happens in the mind. So that's my little intro, and I'm excited to use these little fairy cards, and we're going to see what messages come out today for whoever needs it the most. Spirit guides, angels, those who walk in the love and light, the positive polarity. Join me now for clear messages for whoever needs it. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for blessing this reading. What message is most important at this time? Thank you in advance for your love and guidance. 9 of Pentacles. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. A garden of the soul, manifesting in the outward reality. Birds could be very important. And you know what? They're always giving us messages, aren't they? Clear messages. They're always squawking at the right time. They're always appearing at the right time. Okay, 4 of Cups energy. I feel like someone's going to be really embracing their gifts, and I feel like someone has to really turn away from what other people think, what other people are doing, to recognize those gifts. It could feel like a lot of disappointment because someone's been invested in a different storyline. Someone's been invested in a timeline that was always destined to be disappointing. It was always destined to spill over. There could be this sense of, I've tried so hard in this situation. Why does it keep going wrong? What's going on? It's because you are made for a different pathway, and it could feel like ripping the Velcro off. It could feel like ripping off the Band-Aid. And the psychological stuff is harder. It's harder than physical stuff, you know? So this is going to be a psychological thing for somebody. And a lot of independence of mind is needed for this. 9 of Pentacles. A lot of independence of mind. Yeah, you're switching from one pathway to the other. A whole new timeline. I'm so sorry if you can hear those kids screaming outside. I don't know why on earth they, you know, everyone where I live has got to put up with that for basically 12 hours a day. So I do apologize if you can hear that. Okay, we've got the Chariot. These are the two main energies in this reading, the 9 of Pentacles and the Chariot. So I feel like you're going to have, they're showing me the breaking dawn. They're showing me it's Dagaz in the Viking runes, right? Dawn breaking, something in your mind, having a realization, strength energy, seeing the light, having an epiphany, breaking through. Because everything around you is trying to coax you through. It's like squeezing through a fence that's a tiny gap in a fence and you've got to squeeze through it. And yes, there may be metal that scrapes you when you squeeze through it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's been some time in this has been prepared for quite a while now, where things have been pointing you in the right direction, but it's felt painful. Like you didn't want to leave something. You didn't want to believe something. There's a lot of emotion here. But look, 4 and 5 equal 9, right? There's this emotion of like, I feel like what Spirit has been trying to guide you to do is escape your emotions completely. And I feel like this is what the breakthrough will be. To raise yourself up. I mention the higher self a lot. But people don't understand. It's not easy to access the higher self constantly. We get glimpses of it. You know, maybe when we take psychedelics, maybe whatever. But for most people, it's hard to leave behind the feelings that the body provides for them and be immortal in their now moment. But someone's going to have a breakthrough. There have been signs about this. And I feel like you've been umming and ahhing, thinking, well, am I this gifted? Or do I have this gift? Could someone like me really be this gifted? And I want to tell you, yes, yes. We don't have to be perfect to be leaders. We don't have to be perfect to be gifted. The animal part of our flesh will always give us certain characteristics. It will always make us feel like a F up, you know, like a mess. The best healers are the biggest fuck ups, okay? Let me tell you that. From a human perspective, the way humans think, yeah. But there's this big breakthrough here. I'm hearing I don't need anyone, because there's some emotional connections here that are going to keep being disappointing, because they are essentially, it's all orchestrated by the universe to coax you through this eye of the needle, through this gap in the fence. And it's going to be uncomfortable. I'm hearing birth is traumatic. Yeah, I don't want to get too graphic, but we all know what the birthing process is like. How that baby has to squeeze through, like, you know, and it's traumatic being born even. They're in bliss in the womb. And then all of a sudden, the cold air hits them. Aries is awakened. Aries, they're balling their fists, they're screaming, where am I? You know, and there's something here for you. It's not going to be that difficult for you, okay, Chariot energy. This is going to be a psychological shift. And I can see someone looking at the sunlight. Maybe you'll be looking out your window. Maybe, you know, there's something about sunlight here and tears coming down your face. But this lovely acceptance of, okay, I get it now. This is who I am. Okay, I get that these situations in my life were essentially redirecting me. I'm understanding that when things go wrong on my timeline, it's redirection into another direction, right? Because I am meant to be joyful. I am meant to be happy. So when things go wrong or when things don't feel right to you personally, it's because it's your personal direction. Let me tell you, the universe deals with us all individually. We are all individual worlds. So what's right for another isn't necessarily going to be right for you. You've got to ignore what is right for other people and do what feels good to your soul. That's what the Chariot is. There's something here about you breaking away onto a different timeline. And understanding that the way the universe does this is, you know, you might have lost someone, even it might look to you like they've died, but actually they're alive and kicking on another timeline. But for you on your personal movie of life, something's happened to redirect you where you need to be for your soul group, for the world you're building etherically, for who you need to be, for how you need to grow, right? Remember, we are all immortal. This is a cosmic stage, and it's, you know, humans who've gone through a lot of sorrow and suffering, and we all do. The thought of it being immortal, the thought of it being infinite, and the thought of us being immortal, it can be hard for us to just accept the peace and just accept the victory in everything we do. It can be hard for us to accept that the only thing we ever get wrong is believing we're not doing it right. The only thing we ever do wrong is thinking that we're not doing it right. Someone's having a breakthrough, an epiphany, and I feel like you're not going to be taking it personal. 2 5s on the table, shifts of emotions, shifts in thinking, big psychological breakthrough. Something's been trying to get you to shift into your sovereignty, into your 9 of Pentacles energy. Knight of Wands energy, new adventure. They're pulling me to the pyramids. Empress energy, there we go. I'm hearing someone could have a fear of standing alone, and this is the test. You set this up for yourself before you incarnated in this vessel, to make it really hard for yourself, you know, to keep giving yourself signs until finally you crack it, you break it, you crack the safe of your consciousness, and you start moving forward into pure sovereignty, pure understanding of your infinite nature and your artistic creative ability. Life is art. Life is art, and our emotions can distract us sometimes. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the moon here, because this is a pathway, the experience of the spirit, the experience of the spirit. Yeah, it's going to feel uncomfortable moving forward, not knowing what's coming, not knowing if you can trust your instincts, not knowing if what you're seeing is really what you're seeing, or if it's the refraction of light, the sun and the moon, right? The moon is supposed to be a confusing pathway where you have to put into practice in physicality all of the faith that you learned in the star, all that hope, that inspiration, that faith. Putting it into practice physically, making those physical moves in pure faith, in pure inspiration, it's a test. We've got to really put God to the test. We've got to be like, okay, I felt that energy. I know you're there. I know the universe loves me, but now I've got to walk the walk, right? Walk in the walk. And we've got the 4 of Wands here, and justice. There's something you're balancing out for the world you're creating, the etheric, infinite world you're creating with your soul group. And I feel like it's something to do with conquering your fears. I feel like it's something to do with standing alone, 9 of Pentacles, putting that crown on. See here, she's got a bonnet, okay? Could be someone, you know, expecting all humans to be nice to them, not realizing this is a spiritual playground. This is a spiritual cosmic shopping mall. We come here not to be here permanently, but to shop, to create things artistically, and to build things etherically. This one has her diadem. This one has her crown. This one has her power. So it's not that you don't already have power. It's just that you've got to allow yourself to truly flourish with this power, and to let this idea go that maybe you failed in something. This could even be, this is going to vary for each individual that resonates. Some people don't want to let go of their marriage because there's this idea in that old mindset that I'm a failure if I don't make this work, for example. And these are things that a couple of years down the road, once you actually do it, it won't bother you anymore. You will realize that in your liberty is the only win, right? So someone's gonna break through this. Let's have a look. 4 of Cups, the Hermit. These cards are so little and cute. See, this is about burning your own fire. This is about knowing thyself as an individual, truly understanding the universe, because until we can truly understand the universe, we are stuck in a 3D prison of the mind. Even a lot of spiritual people, they're stuck in a 3D prison of the mind, right? But I feel like through solitude, there is freedom. Through independence, there is freedom. 5 of Wands here. Yeah, again, more fire. Each tarot card is a step in the process to creating your own heaven on earth. And we cannot become empresses or emperors until we go through each step. These are channeled, guys. These are channeled cards, the keys to the universe. So we have to be willing to fight. 5 of Wands energy. We have to be willing to stand alone. Understand. I feel like for someone, you've got to understand, yes, there are people out there who want to see you fail. Yes, there are people out there who would get a kick out of seeing you in the gutter with these 3 cups. Oh yeah, they exist, and some of them pretend to be your friends. You've got to follow your instincts on this one. You've got to come into your sovereignty. And when you come into your sovereignty, your strength and your independence, You will see who really stands for you and by you and who doesn't. I feel like someone out there knows. You know if you come into power and strength, you're going to lose people or they're going to react in a certain way. Spirit saying take it as a blessing. The truth is always a blessing. The truth will always set you free. And you are immortal. You are gathering things for the next world. The Tower. Yeah, the Tower. If it can crumble, let it crumble. It was always meant to. But there is victory here with the Empress. This isn't going to be as painful as you think it was. When you have this, it's a breaking of the mind. It's a cracking of the mind. It feels painful and scary at first, but once you get through it, you realize, oh, that wasn't so bad. There's victory here. Run yourself a freezing cold bath, force your mind to get out of the emotion and get under that water. And you'll realize when you get out of that bath, after 10 minutes of shaking and shivering, you will realize how powerful you are. And you will realize that some of the things that feel the worst are actually the best medicine. You know? The Hanged Man. It could feel like, I don't want to get sacrificed by this person. I don't want to be who I really am because then this person might not like me. Or I don't want to say how I really feel because then I won't have support from all these people. Well, your real ones are waiting for you. You've got a soul group. So there's this energy of sacrifice here with the Hanged Man. There's this energy of, you know, if they can become disloyal to you, let them. They were always disloyal all along. Page of Swords. You may feel like a baby warrior. You may feel like you're not that sort of person because your mind has been conditioned to believe certain things, and we're very hypnotic. Humans are very hypnotizable. All of us. We live within a dream. And this dream has got to shift up. The Page of Swords is very concerned with his own gifts, his own pleasures, what he wants. Lots of research, lots of detail. I feel like you've got to get to know yourself truly, not look outside of yourself for external support, but really start truly supporting yourself from the inside. You came into the world alone, you will leave the world alone. Judgment energy. The transformation of the spirit. After you get through, oh, I'm hearing the cruelty of the moon. Because this spiritual pathway that the moon represents, the experience that the soul and the mind, your mind has to go through this pathway. The only way out is through. You have to go through it if you want to get to the sun. There's no one is exempt. No one is exempt when it comes to tarot. But your pathway is calling you here. There is a lot of strength that's waiting to be unlocked within you. We've got 3 5s on the table. 5, 5, 5. Transformation in terms of how you respect yourself. No one who's not willing to stand and fight for themselves truly respects himself. Okay, so don't let people outside of you tell you you've got to act a certain way. It's just control. It's just control. It makes them feel good. Abraham Hicks says this all the time. People accuse you of being selfish whilst being the most selfish creatures on God's green earth. So we've got to be willing to get our love in all the right places. We've got to be willing to get our love straight from the source, not from any human. We've got to be willing to put God first and put ourselves first. And in this Page of Swords energy, this is you willing to be, you know, what you yourself might previously have judged as conceited or conniving or something, right? It's our own judgments that come and bite us on the ass. What we think. Reality only happens in our mind, right? 5, 5, 5. It's on the table. The Page of Swords and the 5 of Swords. This is being willing to fight for what you stand for at any cost. But you've got to know what you stand for first. You've got to know yourself first. There's research needed here. Hermit energy. Having to go into your own internal world. Having to separate yourself out from other people's energies, opinions, influence. Because at the end of your life, or, you know, throughout your life, when you pass over, when you transition back home to the other side, when you go back to the etheric realm, your spirit guides are going to talk to you, and they're going to say, why? If you don't escape some codependent situation, your spirit guides are going to, they're going to be like, oh, come on, you plan to do this. You plan to escape codependence in this lifetime. You plan to be the Empress. You plan to have pure confidence in God. You plan to create your own beautiful artistic reality. They're watching. They are watching, okay? We do live our individual movies. And each of us have got unique spiritual pathways. We are not generic followers of spirituality. Your spirit guides are going to ask you, why did you follow these people? If you continue to follow these people, they're very understanding, but they are going to let you know whether you passed or you failed. And you really want to get this past. And it might feel really uncomfortable, okay? But this is a straight line to Empress energy here. It's all just a little bit of fear. It's all the illusion of physicality. Emotions, right? Cancer energy. Being maybe oversensitive. And this cat is looking at a big cat in the water. This is like you turning from a domestic house cat into a wild cat again, knowing you're free in your immortality and starting to have fun playing the game, starting to realize that fear is an illusion and fear is not something we want to create with. So there's this breaking free here with the Chariot. So I feel like someone's spirit guides really want you to get this right. They really want you to understand you don't live for anyone else. Page of Swords energy. You're here to live in your own truth. And this will feel like you're being reborn as a baby warrior for somebody. Ace of Cups with the Knight of Wands. Once you get through, in its internal chaos here as well with the Five of Swords and the Moon card. Maybe you're scared of your own feelings. Maybe something's been pushed back in you for so long that maybe it worries you. Queen of Wands on the Empress. And the Sun on the Queen of Cups. The Moon to the Sun. The World on the bottom of the deck. Wow. The Moon to the Sun. No one gets a pass. Everyone's got to go through the darkness of the moon. Everyone's got to find their own internal fighter with the Five of Wands. Everyone's got to respect themselves enough to be able to stand and fight in multiple ways. It doesn't have to be a physical fight. The battle is all in the mind, right? And the Knight of Wands fears nothing. There's something about fearlessness in this reading. I feel like you're going to have a breakthrough with the Chariot where all of a sudden, you know what, this fear's getting on my nerves. It's better to be angry than fearful. Raising that frequency. The universe respects that more. The universe can't help us much when we're in a state of fear. We choose that channel of the mind, the fear channel. You want to be stuck on the fear channel? Or you want to feel that fear and break through it. Laugh at it. Love yourself enough to understand you can embody these energies. Knight of Wands. Seeing your life as an adventure that only you can control and create. No one outside of you can do it for you, but they will recruit you as an energetic slave if they can. Oh yeah, they will. Oh, they don't care. Hanged Man, they don't care about your spiritual pathway. They don't care what your guides are going to think about you when you transition home and they're waiting for you and they can feel your thoughts telepathically and you remember who you are. When you pass through to the other side, you remember who you are. You're like, oh, it was all supposed to be so simple. I was just supposed to get into my sovereignty. I was just supposed to stand for myself. I was just supposed to back myself up. Now I'm going to have to be reborn. And you know, when we're reborn and we have to do these spiritual messages again, these spiritual pathways again, it's harder. The next time it's harder. So they want you to get it done in this life. So it's not harder if you have to come back and do it again. No matter how hard it feels squeezing through this fence, it would feel worse the next time round. Because that's how it works here. There's always a balance to be paid, right? Always a balance to be paid. But I see you doing this. Whoever's clicked on this, I feel like you're going to find this great big cup of love. And again, this is coming straight from source. Ace of Cups. Jubilant, joyful, cute, sweet. You've got to love yourself enough to understand the balance. The four corners. Earth, air, fire and water. Leading to the ether. Leading to the truth of your immortality. Empress with the Queen of Wands. This is beautiful. This is full power. Manifesting, understanding your thoughts really do create reality, and you're doing it fearlessly. Queen of Wands doesn't have any fear. She's got a big dragon next to her. And that's the only way to get the bounty. The Garden of Eden must be created via the mind. So I feel like there are some things that outside of you, these external things that you're going to have to sacrifice, or just accept them for what they are. Some things never change because they're not going to, because they're here to keep reminding us of where we do need to be by being what we don't want or what we don't need. And they're not supposed to change. They're doing their job perfectly, being the disappointments that they are. That is perfectly what they are supposed to be. They're supposed to be disappointing and hurtful. You can't change them. You can only change your internal world here. Queen of Cups with the Sun. Big satisfaction here, okay? The Queen of Wands comes before the Queen of Cups in the suit of tarot. You've got to find your confidence and your fire first. You've got to be the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. You've got to fight for yourself here. Get that fire burning through your chakras, the foundational chakras, root, sacral, solar, okay? And then the devotion comes on top of that. Then the heart's pleasures come after you standing your ground and you understanding everything is swinging around you. The carousel will keep bringing you the same lesson over and over and over again, to the point where it might mess your head up till you break free. You'll feel like, what, am I cursed? What is this, some sick joke? No, you've got to find the key. You've got to switch your mind somehow, and then you escape the prison of the mind, because this lesson will keep repeating over and over again until something in your mind shifts. Someone has to stop looking at what other spiritual, then, you know, everything is spiritual on this planet. But people are very misguided, very controlling, and their mind won't even allow them to know that, because the human mind provides what it thinks will bring the individual comfort all the time. The human mind is designed to suggest to us on individual levels what it thinks will bring us comfort. There's something here that you think something will bring you comfort, but it keeps bringing you disappointment, because this is your spiritual. No one's torturing you. You chose to be here, because certain things have to be earned. There's no skipping steps. There's no tricking the universe. We're not here to be. There are dichotomies. You know, we're here to test ourselves and earn access to certain levels, the Empress levels, the Emperor levels. And we are here to be happy. But before that, we've got to understand what happiness is worth. So there's a lot of opposites, a lot of dichotomy in this reality. Like I say, sometimes when something looks bad, it's good, and something went, and blah, blah, blah. The opposite also exists. Too much good can be bad, too much bad can be good. Fire ant. You could be picking up on other people's energy here. This is about allowing the right energy to be contagious to you. The real, I mean, when I talk about outlaws, I'm talking about those people who are not controllable by other beings. They are only controllable by God. And on our planet, or in our reality, in this dream, it's always the ones who truly follow God that often look like the ones who don't, because it's a lot of opposites happening here. This is why the higher self is always the shortcut. It's always the key out. If you're dealing with people and they don't treat you like you're worthy or valuable, that's your sign. They're not your people. Tiger energy. You want the right energies to contaminate you or inspire you or guide you and lead you. Zero fear. Zero fear. This isn't going to be an easy one, but once you break through, it's going to feel amazing. You've got all these beautiful, satisfying energies coming in for you. Oh, so much satisfaction down here. So much satisfaction. As painful as all this feels, this is going to feel 10 times better. You are infinitely valuable. You are love itself in human format. No one is more worthy or valuable than you. Someone really needs to hear this. You don't owe anyone anything, but you owe it to your spirit guides and you owe it to your soul group to get this done. Whoever these Five of Wands witches represent, they're not going to be there with you when you go back home and your heart is being weighed against the feather by your spirit guides, and they're saying, come on, baby. You promised yourself you'd do this lifetime. Please don't make a, you're going to have to go back. It's going to be harder. Please just do it. Just get your crown on in this lifetime. Please. Let go of these past expectations of relationships, whatever. Labels don't matter. Doesn't matter if you're married in the eyes of the government. That shit doesn't matter. What matters is the progress of your soul, the expansion of your soul. I get a lot of people writing comments saying, oh, is this just a cruel joke? Or what's going on? No, darling, your higher self. You planned this out for yourself. It feels like that. Trust me. I've been in a situation where I'm like, whoa, this is like I'm cursed. It feels like I'm cursed, right? Because the same shit keeps circling around over and over and over. And it's torture. It is, and it's supposed to be. Because it's supposed to make you click. Open the safe. Open the vault of the soul. Get out. Escape. Tigers hunt alone. They don't care what any other animal in the forest thinks of them. They don't care what the baboons think. They don't care what the fish think. They don't even care what the sky thinks. They don't even care about their own children, what their own children think. Tigers teach pure independence, and they hold a blueprint of pure independence. They won't allow their own children to live on their territory once they get past a certain age. They will treat their children like complete individual tigers, like, no, this is my territory. This is my life. And all the animals hold lessons for us. Every single animal in the natural world. You got to find this tiger within yourself. I'm hearing search for the hero within yourself. Someone needs to be reminded the hero has to be a monster. Okay? We have teeth. We are top of the food chain. We are God's highest creation. No one gets to dictate or insinuate how we live. There's a lot of glory and pleasure for you to go after here, but you've got to break yourself. They're giving me escape room. You know those games where you've got to find a way out of the room? Yeah, that's how life is. You've got to find a way out of your own mindset. You've got pure power in doing this. Page of Swords. You've got to search in a playful way. Otter energy. Start finding this game fun. Because if you let your human emotions, the emotions of the vessel, take over your mind, that's how we get stuck in swamps of feeling. We don't want to do that. You need to be playful. Page of Swords energy. Curious. Okay, how can I unlock this mindset? How can I break the pattern? How can I interrupt the pattern? What have I got to think or do? Or, you know, who do I need to be inspired by to break out of this same old energetic loop? You don't want to be stuck in a karmic loop here. Someone's got a big mission here. And again, it's like taking the trophy home. You've got to find your crown. Because this is going to affect your soul group when you go back home. When you pass out of this vessel and become your true etheric self again, in the eyes of your spirit guides and in the eyes of the soul group who love you the most. You only answer to them, those who truly love you. So there's this energy here of you finding, you know, a playful way to get over your emotions and to get over your reliance on others and to stand alone and to find it fun. You know how fun it is not answering to anyone else? Just you and God. Following God will always lead you back to your true people. Becoming fearless will always take you to a much higher timeline than operating in fear. Even if there's loads of people who seem to be spiritual, promoting fear to you. Oh, you've got to do this right, bad karma. There is no karma on the dharmic path. There isn't, okay? So you've got to escape some of these illusions here and find the playfulness, because there's so much heaven waiting for you. But you've got to get in there. You've got to get in there. You've got to get into the loot lounge, right? The loot lounge of the mind. Total fearlessness, defiance, okay? You have to defy what seems normal to you before. The battle is an internal one with this one. The battle is an internal one. There could be help for you if you sit and meditate. There could be something waiting for you, an energy waiting to join your magnetic field. The self-love has got to be bigger than the love you expect from others. It's got to. You've got to defiantly love yourself. You know, I don't care what you random humans think. God loves me. I am valuable. No one is more lovable than me. No one is more worthy than me. Yeah? Start turning your focus to the people who are inspiring in the right ways. People who really know what they're talking about. Not these ones who are lost in the asylum in their fear, worried about karma, worried about consequence. Fearfulness is the killer here. Fear is a contaminant. You don't want that. You need to access a potion, an elixir of pure sovereignty. I talk about potions. People must think I'm just saying it just to sound, you know, fairy-tastic. No, this is real shit. Emotions are real. But you've got to learn to bottle those emotions and not let them take over your mind like a spell. Your own emotions here are your worst enemy. And once you learn to master them, once you realize what the real emotions are, the holy grail, feeling that immortality, knowing nothing can get you, yeah, knowing you are free, you are inherently free and radiant and immortal. You've got to let your mind escape other people's energy here, all right? And realize your life is yours. You know, it takes a huge amount of energy to get one human born. And when you do your spiritual work, when you step into sovereignty, when everyone's trying to tell you, don't be egotistical. Ego's an illusion. There's no such thing as ego. We've got our animal nature and our higher nature. People don't like it when you operate from the fierceness of your animal nature. They tell you you're in ego because they're misguided, full of illusion. Okay, this is why people like me have been pulled back to this planet, because God really does love you and care about you. And God knew I was going to get a lot of people thinking they knew better than me, because they've been so conditioned, all right? Through their fear, they've been conditioned. God wants you to escape this conditioning, understand sovereignty is your birthright. Sovereignty is the natural state for the human. In the same way a fairy wouldn't take anyone's shit, or a vampire wouldn't take anyone's shit, or a mermaid wouldn't take anyone's shit, humans are just as beautiful and etheric as those creatures I've just mentioned, that humans live vicariously through the TV. We aren't human. That's just a word in English, okay, that traps the mind. We are humans. We have to do this. No, you are free. You are gods. This is why I use the word sapien. We are the sapien. We are just as etheric and magical as any fairy, as any mermaid, okay? And it's about time you get into that magic. Free your mind, my darling. I hope this reading's helped somebody, okay? You've got all this Queen of Wands, Empress, Queen of Cups satisfaction waiting for you, and you're going to do it. I can feel you're going to do it. You're going to crack into the love. You're going to have an epiphany. There could be a lot of tears. But this moon has to be gone through, you know? The moon, it has to. For all of us. And you're way stronger than you may feel like you've been, because you've been picking up on other people's energies that have been contaminating you with fear, with their crap, with their illusions, with their conditioning. Don't let the frogs who are being boiled in the asylum tell you not to be a tiger. Okay, my darling? I hope this has helped somebody. Your world is infinite and beautiful. Empress energy. Go get it. Mwah.